If your Pinterest account is stagnant or your reach is declining, it's probably time for an audit to make sure that your boards and your profile and your pins are optimized to the best of your ability. When your Pinterest account is fully optimized, it operates like a beautiful machine, matching your content with the people who are looking for it. It's how on my main account I was able to grow my reach, land brand deals, drive traffic to my blog, and essentially change my life, as I have previously shared. But when I launched my second Pinterest account to support my second blog and this channel, I got lazy. And while I think a lot of Pinterest best practices have become sort of second nature for me, I was out here like throwing boards together without even bothering to put a description in them, let alone do keyword research, telling myself I'd get to them later. So later is today. I had actually started doing a self-audit on this account a few days ago, and I was just shaking my head at myself like, why did you get so sloppy? But it's okay. We're human. So here we are, and I know y'all have been itching for Pinterest content. So before we dive into this audit, I do want to share some really exciting news. I have recently been named one of 6 Pinterest educators, alongside some incredibly knowledgeable and talented people. And this benefits you in 3 ways. 1, you'll be seeing a lot more consistent Pinterest content coming down the pipeline. Drop any of your Pinterest specific struggles in the comments. 2, certain videos like this one will be in paid partnership with Pinterest, which means that you can hopefully rest easy knowing that this advice is sound. We're not trying to hack the system, game anything in any way that Pinterest might potentially punish. And 3, I now have even more access than I did before to the incredible team at Pinterest. So while I don't have the capacity to be your messaging pigeon going back and forth between you guys, I can potentially ask them some of your most pressing or most commonly occurring questions. So again, drop those questions below in the comments. Okay, let's dive into our audit. So for the first part of this audit, I just want to cover some of the super basic account setup logistics. I do also have a free downloadable self-audit guide that I'll drop in the description in case you want to come back to that over and over again rather than this video. The first thing we're going to do is make sure that the very foundation of our account is set up well. So this means that first, you want to make sure that your account is set up as a business account. Whether you are a content creator, influencer, blogger, small business owner, entrepreneur, if you're using Pinterest as any part of your business strategy, you want it to be a business account. This will grant you access to all of the juicy analytics to see how things are actually performing, so that as time goes on, you can do more of what's working and less of what isn't. The next step is that you want to make sure you just kind of systematically go through everything in the settings section. Make sure that everything is properly filled out, up to date, and specifically making sure that your website is claimed. This makes sure that even if somebody else pins something from your website, that you're getting the proper attribution. Next, we're going to move on to auditing our profile. A well set up profile is extremely important because it communicates not only to our potential audience what we do and what type of content we post, it also helps communicate this to Pinterest itself. So first, is your profile picture an image of you? An actual human face helps build trust and relatability, making people more inclined to hit the follow button. Even if you are an actual business, now more than ever, people want to see the person behind the brand. It's also important to ask yourself if the profile picture you've chosen is fitting of your niche. If you're known for creative makeup looks, showcase that in the image that you choose. Looking at my own 2 different brands, the 2 pictures I have reflect the different sides of me. Here on Creating with Kea, the image I chose, I'm holding a laptop, looks a little bit more down to business, whereas on my account that's more dedicated to lifestyle, beauty, and most importantly, hair, the vibe is not only different, more aesthetic, the hair draws much more attention, despite being out in both pictures. Next, we want to look at our profile name and bio. And this is the part that is really going to do double duty because it is both for your potential audience and the Pinterest algorithms. You want both your profile and bio to articulate in clear keywords and key phrases what it is that you do so that people coming to your page can understand pretty quickly and clearly whether or not it's a page they're interested in. And it provides Pinterest context so that it knows who to show your content to. We're going to get more into finding out the right keywords and key phrases in the board audit section. But for now, just brainstorm all the keywords that describe what you do in normal English and see if you can fit it into each of these sections in a way that makes sense. We really want to do our best to avoid keyword stuffing or just stringing words together that don't make any logical sense. Because again, we're not just trying to appeal to the algorithm, we're appealing to humans too. And after all that, it's time to look at our boards, where I personally need to do some serious auditing. So the default on your account will usually come up for the created page, and we're just gonna hop over to saved. And that's where you'll be able to see all the different boards that you have created. Now, our goal as we audit our boards is to make sure that the board titles and descriptions include keywords and key phrases that our potential audience is actually using to search for content. By properly optimizing our boards, we're telling Pinterest that whenever I post to board X, I'm posting about X. So I want you to show it to people who are interested in and searching for X. Boards that have a title that is just for you or that is maybe an inside joke between you and a friend are fun, but they don't tell Pinterest what your board is about. So if your board full of marathon training advice is just called "Let's do this thing," people actually wanting the information contained in that board are not going to be able to find it. You're much better off just titling it "Marathon Training Tips" or "Exercises" or "Programs." I don't know. You're gonna have to do the research because I don't run marathons. Now, my boards aren't heinous. They aren't completely personal and irrelevant to the Pinterest algorithm, as they might be if I called, this board here "Get Dat Money," but they could be improved upon. Okay, I think I made it up to the social media strategies. As you can see, I don't even have a description. So I like to have at least 2 tabs open, one for the board itself to edit it, and one for my keyword research. So there are 2 main ways to do keyword research. One is using Pinterest itself, which is by far like the easiest, simplest way of doing keyword research, as I'm about to show you. And second is using a paid keyword research tool. I personally use KeySearch, but I will say I only pay for it because I have a blog, I have a Pinterest account, and I have a YouTube channel, and it allows me to do keyword research for all of them. If you're here just trying to focus on Pinterest right now, just use Pinterest itself for your keyword research. If you're just using Pinterest itself, this audit is so easy, and you can just chip away at it whenever you have some time. I know I said I'm doing this on my computer with 2 tabs open, but I've been kind of casually doing it on my iPad over the past couple days, as well as my phone. So this board is a relatively broad board in that I'm gonna be pinning pins to it that will hopefully help people improve their social media strategies. So I think we're actually gonna keep the title as this as social media strategies, but what we're really gonna work on here is this missing description. So the beautiful thing about Pinterest is that when you search all pins, it starts to auto-complete things for you. So even as I start to type in social media, you'll see that all of these different options are popping up. Social media design, social media post, all of these different things. What Pinterest is auto-completing here are recommendations based off of what people are commonly typing in. So these are keywords and key phrases that if they apply to your board and the content you plan to pin to it, you'll want to include in the titles and descriptions. Oh look, you actually have Archana here, who is a fellow Pinterest educator. Obviously, she is incredibly well optimized to be popping up just for the word social media. And you'll also notice when you type in the whole word and press enter, across the top, there's actually a whole new selection of related keywords. These are going to be a list of words that people are often tacking on to that root keyword or key phrase to further refine and specify it. And it's going to help you make your boards more refined and specific. So scrolling through, we've got marketing plan, Instagram, plan seems to be a common one, Facebook, to create, post. Okay, so I feel like we've got some words. Going back to my board, social media strategy ideas to help you plan your content for Instagram, Facebook, and other platforms. Resources to help you plan your posts and design them to reach your audience. Done. Much better than the blank option we had earlier. And my next one here is very personal. Home Content Creation Studio. I just moved and we have a long way to go. You might be able to see some overlap between the inspo you're seeing in this board and the room around me, namely some of the greens and the wood and the lights. And because I put this board together mostly for personal use, but because my audience is content creators, I knew it would make sense to make this board public. I again threw it together without a description. So we're just going to go again, home content creation. So we've got studio, setup, ideas, content creation at home, content creation studio at home, content creation space at home. I like these. These are some great ones. So based on the research, I'm gonna change this board title from inspo to ideas. And let's just kind of type in cozy, because most of the inspo I'm searching is cozy. Cozy home content creation studio, studio ideas, inspiration for a content creation setup at home in a small office. Let's go back to see if there's anything else we can kind of take from that. Oh, space. I like the word space. Inspiration for making space for a content creation setup at home in a small office. I like it. And then let's go to home content creation studio. So we've got words along the top here like setup, space, aesthetic, design ideas, decor, design ideas, maybe aesthetic background design for influencers. And I'm also gonna put and YouTubers, because that's something that I was typing in when I was trying to find inspo for my office. And that's the thing too, as you're going through this and auditing, you don't wanna just think, what are the suggested keywords and just plugging those in. You can add things that you know that you as a potential searcher would be typing in. That's that like really important human element. And this is just all we're gonna do. We're gonna keep going through all of these boards. I do wanna quickly show you for the next one, how to make money as a content creator. Ooh, another one without a description. What was I doing? For this one, I do wanna quickly show you how you could use an external tool to do the exact same thing. So we're just gonna log into my key search here, and let's just type in how to make money. So something to note here, you can filter these based on related keywords, Google Suggest, so similar to what we just did on Pinterest, where it tells you what Google is basically auto-completing based on common searches. You actually do have access here to Pinterest Suggest, YouTube Suggest, the works. But for myself, I'm just going to do related keywords to get my brain going. Normally, if I was doing this for a blog, I would be really focused on the difficulty score, and I probably wouldn't be trying to optimize for something super difficult, but for Pinterest, I'm not really concerned. I find that with Pinterest, if I'm using keywords that accurately represent my content and the content is good, it will slowly and like eventually make its way up the ranks. Just have to be patient. So we've got how to make money as a content creator, how to make money on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube, how to monetize content creation, create content and get paid for content creation, yada, yada, yada. So we're gonna take those keywords, that ethos, and we're gonna boil it down into a description. Tips for how to make money as a content creator, whether you are on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube. Learn how to get paid, i.e. monetize. Oh, let's do get paid for, i.e. monetize your content and creativity. Call it a day. Done. So as you can see, same principle. Some notes as you go through your boards too, especially if this is an account that has existed for a while, is to see which boards need to be purged. Maybe made secret if you really want them and you're using the information in them, or maybe just archived or deleted. When you're trying to figure out whether or not a board gets the boot, you want to ask yourself if the board fits your target audience and your content pillars. Or is it something that is probably better served on your own personal Pinterest account? I will say I'm very guilty now that I have 2 accounts of seeing a piece of inspiration and pinning it to the account I happen to be logged into, even though it has absolutely nothing to do with my brand or my profile or my audience. But if I'm caving and doing that, it's gotta go to a secret board. But a better idea, for those of you who are better than me, is to either send it to your other account or copy the link, go in, switch accounts, and then input the link to find the pin. The final step of the audit is to hop on over to the analytics to see what pins have been performing the best and recreate some of them. Put on your analytical lens and try to understand what has been working in their favor. Is the title and description super well optimized? Is the visuals super catchy? The text really legible? Is it a topic that garners a lot of intrigue? Like mine here on how I make a full-time income as a small content creator. And whatever those lessons are, see if you can carry them forward into your future pins. Then when you make your pins, you want to make sure that your pins, titles, and descriptions use these same principles. They are that final piece in the machine. When your pins align with your boards, which align with your profile, everything works so seamlessly to be able to give your content its best shot at being seen. And if you're looking for a manageable pinning strategy on Pinterest to carry you through, watch this next. Thanks for watching, and until next time.